Hannah series starts with the most unpopular discussion on a chapter which talks about accounting concepts and conventions. If I only use the word concept, only use the word concept. Concept means an idea, notion. When we discuss about accounting concept, we have to understand that once we are talking about accounting concepts, we are talking about basic assumptions that we make based on the foundation of entire accountancy is depending. Means if these assumptions are not considered, then perhaps maintaining books of accounts to achieve its object may not be achievable. So this is the very foundation. Accounting concept lays the foundation based on which entire accountancy is laid up. So you better understand financial transactions are interpreted in the light of concepts which govern the accounting methods. Understood? So without these basic assumptions, we'll not be in a position to achieve the main object of maintaining books of accounts. Now, to understand it in a better manner, I will discuss all the concepts one after each other. So I want full concentration. One simple question. Why do you maintain business records? Why do you maintain business books? Because I want to record all the business ka financial transactions separately. So at the end of the year, I can find out two things about business separately. One is performance of the business and the other is financial status. When I say performance of the business, I'm talking about profit or loss suffered. And when I'm talking about financial status, I'm not talking about anything else but assets and liabilities of the business as on last day of the accounting. I'm talking about a sole trading organization. Business is owned by X. X runs the business. Business belongs to X. Who represents business? Mr. X. So in reality, is Mr. X and his business are different from each other? No. Honestly speaking, मिस्टर एक्स ओनर है तो बिजनेस कौन करता है मिस्टर एक्स बिजनेस को रिप्रेजेंट कौन करता है बिजनेस एक्स आई मीन मिस्टर एक्स तो देयर इज नो डिफरेंस बिटवीन business and Mr. X. However, while maintaining books of accounts, if we don't make an assumption that owner Mr. X is different entity and business is a different entity, then dhamal will happen. Yes, sir. What dhamal will happen? All personal transactions and business transaction will get mixed up. If you are not going to say that owner and business are two different, then there's no difference between business expenditure and personal expenditure, personal income and business income, personal asset and business asset, personal liability and business liability. In short, if there is no differentiation possible, we will be in a position to find out the profit or loss for the business and financial status of the business. There won't be anything called capital and drawings if you don't assume owner and business as two different entities. Hence, while maintaining books of accounts, we we will 100% assume, we will 100% assume that owner is a different entity, business is a different entity. Then only we will be in a position to differentiate between personal transaction and business ka financial transaction. Am I very clear? Yeah. That's why we say accounting concept means accounting concept lays down the very foundation for accountancy. Yapu. Second, going concern concept. Whenever an organization is started by the proprietor, the basic assumption that we make is organization is going to last long. This organization may not practically last long. There are mounting losses for first 5 years. 6th year owner has decided not to continue. Possible. Hai. But when you started business and when we were maintaining books of accounts, we always made an assumption what that business will last forever. If we don't make this assumption that the business will last forever, we will not be in a position to differentiate between what is capital expenditure and what is revenue expenditure. Expenditure means ultimately amount paid, you have incurred expenditure, आपका खर्चा हुआ है, लेकिन अगर उस खर्चे का बेनिफिट लॉन्ग टर्म में है, and you're not going to get the benefit only in 1 year, but over a period of time. Of course, depending upon the life of that fixed asset, then it's a capital expenditure. But if it is going to give you benefit only up to 12 months, then it is revenue expenditure. So now you imagine if you don't make an assumption when you started the business, that business will have unlimited life. There will be nothing called capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. You will not be able to differentiate between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. So कहाँ से आप बनाएंगे ट्रेडिंग प्रॉफिट लॉस अकाउंट एंड बैलेंस शीट? In capital expenditure होगा तो it will appear in balance sheet asset side. Revenue expenditure होगा तो it will ultimately go to trading and profit and loss account. So you better understand one thing: business actually will last long or not. When you start the business, when you're doing the business and maintaining books of accounts, you will always make an assumption that business will last forever. That's going concern concept. Going concern concept. Yeah. Going concern concept. That's the second one. Third, money measurement concept. When you record a financial transaction, you always record financial transaction with respect to what? 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees, 3000 rupees, 4000 rupees, 40,000 rupees, 4 lakhs rupees, 40 lakhs rupees, 50 lakhs rupees. In short, anything and everything. Anything and everything that is valued in terms of money will be recorded in books of account. If something cannot be valued in terms of money, it will not have place in books of accounts. For example, understanding, misunderstanding, fights between employees. See, there is no proper coordination, no proper understanding, mutual understanding between the employees. So organization is not functioning to its full capacity. In fact, because of this, organization is suffering losses. Can you evaluate these fights, misunderstanding, etc. in terms of money? आज 4 किलो का झगड़ा हुआ, आज 2 किलो से मैं बात नहीं कर रही, मतलब 2 किलो मेरा झगड़ा हुआ ना तो मैं बात नहीं करूँ फैक्ट्री मैनेजर से. What nonsense. So you better understand one thing: you can record in books of accounts only those material things which can be valued in terms of. If it cannot be valued in terms of money, it will never be recorded in books of. So anything that is valued in terms of money will have a place in books of accounts. If it cannot be valued in terms of money, it will not have a place in books of accounts. That's money measurement concept. Cost concept. See क्या है ना, आपने एसेट एक्वायर किया तो you paid purchase price for it first, plus all expenses to acquire that asset, install that asset, use that asset. That is any expenditure incurred before using the asset for the first time is considered to be cost of the asset and it was debited to asset. Now, on that cost, you will keep on charging depreciation if you're using it due to wear and tear, blah, blah, blah. आज आपकी कॉस्ट 5 साल पहले एक रियल एस्टेट में आपने एक कर्जत में एक फार्म हाउस खरीदा, तो यू गॉट दैट फार्म हाउस ओनली फॉर 20 lakhs. It was not properly developed because project had just started, so the prices were low. The same type of farmhouse after 5 years, when the project is developed, road is constructed, adjoining roads are there, theater is there, school is established, there is grocery shops available. So blah blah blah. It is a developed area. So it's the same kind of bungalow, same square feet, everything remains the same. Paint, same Asian paint, mera wala green, tumhara wala green, sub same, identical. Your friend bought it, and this time he did not buy it for 20 lakhs, but he bought it for almost 80 lakhs because the price has gone up. So now, will you get confused as to what will be the value of your, what do you say, row house or bungalow? No. 80 lakhs is the cost for it. My cost was 20 lakhs. At the most, I would charge depreciation and get the value. So cost will never change. Cost is the actual expenditure that you have in. Yeah. The cost for individual may not remain the same. Am I very clear? So you will be recording the asset at cost and then you will be charging depreciation and you will not consider the other changes which are happening. That is the cost of the new asset that is happening. Am I very clear? Now, fifth one, dual aspect concept, तो आपका favorite. We record in books of accounts. Debit, credit. It is debit corresponding credit. Credit corresponding debit. ये अपना राज कपूर का एक मूवी था. आपकी जनरेशन को शायद मालूम नहीं, फिर भी मालूम होगा. अदरवाइज आस्क योर पेरेंट्स. मेरा नाम जोकर. उसमें उसका एक डायलॉग था, जीना या मरना या इसके सिवा जाना. सो एज एन अकाउंटेंट हमारा डायलॉग क्या होना चाहिए? डेबिट या क्रेडिट या इसके सिवा जाना का. दैट इज ओनली डबल एंट्री. नो, anything that we record in books of accounts is always based on double entry. That's an assumption. You will not record only one fact. If goods are purchased, you will definitely mention goods are purchased, that is purchases account debit, but you will also mention cash is going out or it is bought on credit from A. If goods are sold, you will of course credit sales account, but that's not the only thing that you're going to record because you'll always mention whether goods are sold for cash and you received cash or it is sold to be on credit. See, there are 1,000 reasons for paying cash. I can pay cash to creditor. I can pay cash for my expenses. I can pay cash for the goods that I purchased. I can pay cash for the loan repayment. There are 1,000 reasons. So to understand the full transaction, you will not just record cash is going out, but you will also specify the reason why cash is going. That's double entry. So anything that we record in books of accounts will be always based on double entry. Debit यहाँ तो क्रेडिट वहां, क्रेडिट वहां तो डेबिट यहाँ, इसके सिवा चलेगा. Sorry. Now there is something called periodicity concept. Now what is this periodicity concept? हमने जब पहला कॉन्सेप्ट डिस्कस किया, दैट इज बिजनेस एंटिटी कॉन्सेप्ट, मैंने आपको बोला कि आप एट द एंड ऑफ द I will like to know my performance and I will like to know my financial status. Now, what do you mean by at the end of the year? And why only at the end of the year? You say to evaluate your performance, you need to do the comparison either with your own performance of previous period or with your competitors. अब जो बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स आप मेंटेन करते हो उसका स्टैंडर्ड पीरियड ही नहीं कंसिडर किया जाए और 6 महीने के रिकॉर्ड्स को आप 12 महीने के रिकॉर्ड्स के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे. योर पास्ट रिकॉर्ड्स ऑफ 6 months with your current year's records for 12 months, you're never ever going to achieve anything. So we say we maintain books of accounts for an accounting year. So we assume that accounting year means 1 year, that 1 year will consist of 12 months. So the comparison will be always of 1 year, that is 12 months. That is the common period that we take into consideration. That is why it is called periodicity concept. क्या है ना, आपने बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया टुडे, आप क्या डायरेक्टली 50 साल के बाद इसका परफॉर्मेंस फाइंड आउट करेंगे? व्हाट नॉनसेंस, व्हाट इज द सेंस? I will like to know na, my performance at regular intervals. Now that regular intervals cannot be after 1 year, then after 3 years, then after 4 years, then after 5 years. So the period has to be same and period has to be standard. So under periodicity concept, we assume that we will check, we will find out, we will evaluate our performance after every 12. That is 1 year. So it is annual books of account, that is for 12 months. Got it? Got it? Good. Realization concept and accrual concept. See, सबसे पहले मुझे आप बता, cash sale is a financial transaction for your yes. Credit sale is a financial transaction for your yes. Exactly. Up till now, for a sole trader, whether it was your 11th standard sole traders final accounts or it was partnership final accounts, you were always into trading activity. So for trader, you will like to always follow accrual system. What do you mean by accrual system? We treat income as income received as well as receivable. We treat expenditure as expenditure paid as well as payable. It should be for the year. It should be for that particular period under consideration. So under accrual concept, we assume that income is received plus receivable and expenditure is paid plus paid. Of course, it has to be related to those 12 months under consideration. And realization concept, which is probably not followed by traders, but would be followed by professionals like chartered accountants, lawyers. They will consider income as income only after receiving, expenditure as expenditure only after paying. So if you are following realization concept, no, income is equal to only income received during those 12 months. That's an assumption. And expenditure is only expenditure paid during those 12 months. इसमें income is equal to not received plus receivable for 12 months. It is only received. And expenditure is not paid plus payable. It is only paid. Is realization concept suitable to every organization? It may not be suitable to every organization. Professionals may follow. Hello. Matching cost concept. See, when I discuss final accounts with you, I gave you a simple example. जो अपने स्कूल में भी सीखा है. I have bought 5 ball pens at 5 rupees each. So मेरा purchase price है, which is my total cost in my example, is 20. Out of 5 ball pens purchased, I sold 3 ball pens at 10 rupees each. So मेरा selling price हो गया 30. Now to find out correct profit, shall I subtract 30 में से 25 rupees? तो पहले अपने आप को आप पूछो, what is 30 selling price of 3 ball pens? What is 25 cost of 5 ball pens? Don't you think it makes sense to assume that if I wish to find out correct profit, the profit is on unit sold, which is only 3 ball pens. So I need to compare 3 ball pens ka cost with 3 ball pens ka selling price. So if I have to find out correct profit from the sale, from the revenue, you have to subtract only that proportion of the expenditure which is incurred to earn this income. अगर मैंने 5 बॉल पेन खरीदे लेकिन 3 ही बॉल पेन बेचे, तो 3 बॉल पेन की सामने प्रॉफिट कमाने के लिए, 3 बॉल पेन का सेलिंग प्राइस कमाने के लिए मैंने कॉस्ट 5 बॉल पेन का इंकर नहीं किया है. So under matching cost concept, basically you will be comparing 3 ball pen selling price with 3 ball pens cost to get profit on 3 ball pens sold. That is called matching cost concept. So how many concepts we did discuss? Number one, business entity concept. Owner and business are different. Second, going concern concept. Business has unlimited life. Money measurement concept. Anything and everything that is valued in terms of money will only find place in books of accounts. Cost concept, the purchase price plus expenditure incurred to acquire the asset, use the asset, blah blah blah. Is the expenditure incurred? आपकी कॉस्ट अलग है, किसी और की कॉस्ट अलग हो सकती है, आप उसकी किसी और की कॉस्ट से आपकी वैल्यू चेंज नहीं करोगे. Next, dual aspect concept, that is we always follow double entry. Every debit has a corresponding credit and every credit has a corresponding debit. Then only we will understand the whole transaction. So we always make an assumption that when we are recording books of account, when we are maintaining books of account, we'll always record both aspects of the transaction. Periodicity concept, and we consider the standard period under consideration for which we maintain books of accounts is 12 months. That is periodicity concept. देन कम्स द रियलाइजेशन कॉन्सेप्ट एंड अक्रूवल कॉन्सेप्ट में उसके लिए अक्रूवल कॉन्सेप्ट का एक्सप्लेनेशन पहले देता हूं. इनकम फॉर द ईयर इज इक्वल टू रिसीव प्लस रिसीवेबल. एक्सपेंडिचर फॉर द ईयर इज इक्वल टू पेड प्लस पेबल अंडर अक्रूवल कॉन्सेप्ट. अंडर रियलाइजेशन कॉन्सेप्ट, income is equal to only income received during the year and expenditure is only expenditure paid during the year. Accrual concept is mostly followed by all traders. Realization concept can be followed by all professionals. Last but not the least, matching cost concept. Here we talk about what? Matching cost. मतलब क्या? तो एग्जांपल दिया वो 3 बॉल पेन का सेलिंग प्राइस में से 5 बॉल पेन का कॉस्ट माइनस नहीं करेंगे टू फाइंड आउट प्रॉफिट अर्न ऑन 3 बॉल पेन्स. It has to be 3 ball pen selling price minus 3 ball pens cost to find out profit on bolo 3 ball pens sold. This was all about accounting concepts. In part 2, we start with conventions. So see you in part 2 in a while. Bye.